Loaf was an egg.
But now we're gonna get another notification. Come on. There we are. All right. Music is up.
Are you breathing? Just as a quick check-in.
My drink.
Breathe.
No, I don't breathe. I only drink water.
Yep, I'm good. Okay. No more time for another verse. Alright, I'm going to
Don't be your character. In the eyes, don't be your character.
That's the best time to be my cat.
Alright. Let us know when you're ready. We'll just redo it all from the start. We'll get into it. I will adjust the time. We'll be fine.
Alright. So I'm going to wave. I'm waving.
Hello there, everybody. We are actually here, and hopefully the tech gremlins will have been booted out effectively. We are trying. We have tried many efforts, but these things happen. It would not actually be a stream if there were not tech gremlins. People who tell you otherwise are absurd. But anyways, absurd. Hello there, everybody. We're here for the 5th session of Afterlife Hotel Nexus, our Afterlife Wandering Soul actual play here on Girls Run These Worlds. So it is fantastic to have you all here to listen to us. And I'm gonna call on my fantastic players to introduce themselves, and we will get right back into it right away because we have a session to get into today, and it's gonna be a doozy. So I'm gonna start as we started before with Gina.
Hi, I'm Gina. That's she, her. I'm playing Antonia, also she, her.
Wonderful. Now we go over to the saddest boy, Mirage.
Hello. As I said before, my favorite flavor. I am Ultra Mirage, they, them. I am playing Saddest Boy, Ophir, he, they.
Wonderful. To the mixed steal your girl at a funeral, Diana. Still funny the second time.
Yes. Hola, to go by Diamond Online. I use she, her, and I am playing Captain Jimena Ictac Castillo, the Siren of the Jewel Coast, she, they.
The incomparable, the wonderful, and the absolute charming in this game, decay.
Hi, hello, that is me. I'm DK, she, they, and I'm also, today, Crest Nightingale, also she, they, because that's what's easy.
Yes. Take the easy path, folks. Let no one judge you for it. Easy path is sometimes a lot better. And also, speaking of the fantastic, the wonderful, and absolutely best, one of the best sisters that I've ever had in the world, it is our own incomparable producer, Ida.
Hi, my name is Ida. My pronouns are she and her. I am playing Ren, whose pronouns are they and them. Ren is a very calm, relaxed, very overly blasé character. Ida the person, we're going to wind down in a second.
And hello there, folks. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Angela Lemos Monrejo. I use she, her pronouns, and I'll be running this game that has been going on. We've had our first half of the season already kick off of fantastic wanderers who have been stalled from moving on to the afterlife, who have taken up residence in this interplanar limbo space. Hello there, Ginger Fluff. Good to have you here. A first timer? Oh my lord, it's so good to have you here. You are here, you are joining us as for the second half of this series, our group has been exploring various little pocket planes of existence called limbos in order to recover different fragments of their lost memories, who they were before they died, and bringing us right back into the tense moment in which we left off last time, everyone. The group had decided to enter a portrait in the Gallery of Remembrance, Gallery of Memories, in order to try and recover more fragments of their memories, and found themselves in a place known as Sidmaro Bay, a harbor town that coastal, really fantastic, wonderfully vibrant population of various sea folk, marine life, different humanoids of a fish-like persuasion. So usual stock fare of tritons, turtle humanoids, an occasional selkie, which I know at least one or two of my players met with much happiness and glee, because selkies are awesome. Let no one tell you otherwise. Also one of the most tragic mythological sort of creatures you could ever look into. It's sad. Their stories are real sad, but in the midst of their wanderings and interacting with townsfolk, two of our party members collapsed and found themselves looking into memories of a loved one lost in the midst of a tremendous ship wreckage and the slow but sobering reality of needing time to recover from being hurt during performances. This mess building into further complications when taking a look at a lighthouse and a lighthouse sort of overseer by the name of Callahan, who was not in any way inspired by the Pepperidge Farm commercial voice that is one of my favorite voices of all time, found themselves realizing they were in the midst of a conflict between two elemental titans, one of water who had been angered at what had happened to their ancient ruins, having been renovated and been repurposed into a lighthouse that was now being used as a guide for sea vessels to bring in more commerce by the town mayor. This angered a lot of people. And the result of that is that another member of your group, having walked away from the main group and discovered her own memories of being isolated, trapped, and pulled away by a terrifying earthen wood-like creature, which did the full Conjuring, Insidious, evil creature pulls you from behind kind of thing. The group is now split up. 3 of you in an interplanar Nexus place that is essentially, think like a fishbowl filled with water in terms of like the shape of where not just Antonia, but also Ren and Jimena find themselves, while Ophir and Quest are looking out onto the shoreline to see the massive nautilus shell-headed creature with 4 arms, seaweed-like beard, and a size ranging in the like 50, 60, 70 feet category. So very tall. Very, very tall. But that is where we are picking up. So I'm going to ask the group, who would you like me to start with? The folks who are in the Nexus plane, or the folks dealing with the water kaiju and the earth kaiju behind you?
Look, 3 of us are just napping. That's boring to look at, you know?
Dan going full like, don't throw shit at us, Angela.
Can
Don't
I
do
be
that
the
to us
little
right now.
spoon?
We're enjoying ourselves.
Yeah, you know what? Let's go kaiju. Let's just go. Let's fucking go.
One
Let's
of
do
my
it.
favorite phrases uttered of all time. You know what? Let's go, kaiju. Let's go. All right, folks. So, Ophir and Quest, how are you reacting in this moment as you are looking out and you are seeing the shoreline as being dotted with like aquatic creatures that seemingly appear vaguely humanoid but are wreathed entirely in coral and seaweed, just slowly emerging out of the water like beachfront, and also far behind the water titan kaiju creature is a fog bank that is rolling in on the town. How do you react? What is your first impulse between the two of you?
If I remember correctly, what last happened was somebody decided to jump out of the lighthouse window while carrying an unconscious body, which could have gone worse. And we finally had gathered all 3 of our peacefully sleeping friends in the little house attached to it, next to it. So, with that in mind, hyperventilating.
So we have a hyperventilating and we have someone who just ate shit, but ate shit gracefully while jumping out of a lighthouse, because you did succeed the check that lowered the harm that you did take. So I do recall that being the last bit that Quest was dealing with. So Quest, you land and Ophir's hyperventilating right next to you.
Just like, what?
Okay,
What?
all right.
What
Look
is?
at me. Look at me. Look at me. One problem at a time. Don't look at
So
that.
many. There's
Don't look at that. That is less important than us right now. We will deal with that momentarily. Just look at me.
okay.
We know we can leave this place. Wherever they are,
Right.
they have the best chance of getting us out of here. So we just have to hold tight until then.
Okay.
Let's get everybody comfortable. We'll take a look around, see what we can see how long we can even stay here, and we'll go from there.
Oh my God, are you okay? You jumped out the window.
Yeah, it's not the worst decision I've ever made.
Here, can I help? And he's going to attempt to weakly help move Antonia.
Quest will bear most of the weight, but will kind of breathe a sigh of relief as Ophir picks up the other end and just kind of like, oh, we're sure doing this together. Equal parts. We're both so strong. And we'll
He's just like, I'm an artist. It's okay. It's okay.
listen. I'm pretty sure I did something that's not good. So I appreciate the extra hands.
The other two are right over here. Okay. God, are there any kind of vehicles or anything like wagons or no? Cool.
Oh
All right.
no, no,
Great.
y'all walked up here, and as you look
Sure did.
around, by the way, it's right about now with you both having had that conversation, it's like especially ending on the note of like one thing at a time. Thank you for the help. You see, there is a wave coming to crash along the side of the town. And you just watch 3, 2, 1. There it hits some of the town. It is not massive, but the shakes that reverberate around through here, there is a section of the lighthouse that begins to break off and is about to fall on your companions.
Oh dear God.
So this is going to be a check of some kind between the two of you. If you would like to both try and do it for a lower challenge, or if you would like to have one person do the roll, but it will require someone putting in points in order to help with the success and such, or using a talent to try and help.
I have a
I will
talent that
allow
can
that.
help.
But right now, the wave is going such that the reverberations, you see a portion of the harbor that you came in on a ship on just break and entirely get destroyed. There's just whole sections of it starting to float out, and you're seeing these creatures beginning to emerge on the seashore. And you watch as you turn around and you see a section is about to fall on your companions. What are you doing? What are you doing for this check, folks?
I think for Ophir, listen, he's just a guy. This is scary. This is all scary. He doesn't deal with supernatural shit. So he like probably has I would say Jimena like in his arms and is like holding on to be like, okay, where are we going to move them? Sees this all happen and is like ready to start moving, but just freezes with fear and looks over to Quest with this look of like, you know what to do. You're you're resourceful. You do things good. Like doesn't say anything, just has this look of fear and like, you can do this. Please help. Uh, may I use my crying mask death mark to um add a +1 die when boosting someone's ego? Would that count, do you think?
Yes, I love it specifically. The tagline is when you are boosting someone's ego. Uh Warranted. You need more Ophirs in your life in that
Truly.
sense. But Quest, what are you doing in that case? You do feel from Ophir's words, hesitant and tentative though they may be, there is something invigorating about what they have said.
Quest catches Ophir's eyes very briefly as hers are darting around the room, looking at just sort of as many angles as she can catch in this fraction of a second. And she kind of half smiles at Ophir and then rips her backpack off and sort of uses her arm to hold her backpack up. I'm going to use my shield and dive over the two that are not with Ophir.
Well, yeah. All right. Then Ophir is going to protect Jimena as best he can.
Okay. So I'm going to put this at a difficulty. Let's go with a difficulty of 3. So whatever you're going to try and use, Quest, you have the additional +1 dice to roll, or die to roll, pardon. But whatever you're going to try and do for this, I wish you luck, bud. It's difficulty 3.
Okay. I'm going to use I'm going to use soul for this. I'm not on the right page for exactly what soul does, but I know that it's the
Soul
quest
involves
one.
emotional strength. It can involve charm, create, or understand.
Okay. Well, then I guess in that case, because it's a physical feat, I will use body. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5.
Did you roll and get 5 successes, or are you? Wow, Jesus, yeah. Quest proving once again, strong as fuck.
The extra dice really did it.
The extra dice did it. Yeah, you managed to push someone to push him out of the way, and the rest of your allies are still okay. They're still conked out, but like this is getting worse and worse. The waves are now starting to come more often, and you're hearing from the town various people are like in trouble. They are in distress. Interestingly enough, from this distance, though, keeping in line with the general theme that I don't harm kids, and that is a line for myself and I think for other players, actually, to sort of highlight that, you are seeing some kids who seemingly are the only ones being able to see the sea creatures leading folks out of the town. They're actually like, you're hearing like, imagine a bunch of very little pipsqueak voices getting folks away from a natural disaster zone. They are managing to get people out, to get people to safety. And you and Ophir are seeing that like the earthen creature is like filling in wherever the waves hit. And it's seemingly like the earth is starting to part. It's like beds of flowers are becoming living bridges to patch up the spots. But the two of you have this strong sense that like this is going to keep getting worse and worse.
And we do see like a clear direction out of this town that everyone is going.
You see roughly folks are just trying to get out of this town, and the kids are probably the best mark for where you can go.
Okay.
While that is happening, now we go to the other party, to the other group.
It's just sleep, so just go back to the others because they're just sleeping.
I mean, you were. The three of you are very cozily sleeping, but you see the very similar to how it was before. Well, actually, for you three didn't see it before. You see, player-wise, the equivalent of what Ophir and Quest saw before, of an outline of a portrait of an escape out of here. And you hear what sounds like music coming from that direction. And it's like the water around you this space that has been filled entirely with water is slowly beginning. Imagine musical water bending is essentially what I'm trying to get across here, which is possibly one of the best statements I've ever made in any sort of stream context. And you feel like it's very easy to move around here. I would say, especially for Jimena, this is like home for you. But there are two things that are standing out to you, to all three of you right now, as you're waking up and becoming aware of each other's presence. Number one, there is a humanoid presence near the portrait exit. They are, in terms of like appearance and such, I'm trying to remember that actor's name. He's somewhere, I think it's Mahershala Ali, if I'm so somewhere. Imagine a trident slash like fish person version of Mahershala Ali. So for anyone who's ever seen the movie Moonlight, he's the supportive individual who helps the youngest version of the main character. I believe in that one plays an Afro-Cuban descent individual, or talks at least about stories that come from a very Afro-Cuban and Afro-Latine perspective. But you see this individual just sort of staring at the group, and there's a look of sadness on his face. And he doesn't seem like he really wants to get in the way, but all around you, you see just sort of moving throughout the shadows of the light that is not being cast out from this orb of water, creating a path. There's something moving around you. And at one second, you see what looks like a shadow of a skeletal face with a scythe. In another, you see what looks to be a dog-like face with arms crossed moving amidst the shadows. And another moment you see what looks to be almost like a lupine-like shadow just moving around. It's the best way I can put it is it looks like it's hunting the three of you. What do the three of you do?
I imagine that Ren is just like kind of hazy, heavy-lidded from having seen a memory of their past life, and just sort of coming to consciousness in this space, noticing the others, the water that was described, but whether or not they see the shadows, you said there was music. So that Kraken is Musica. Let's go towards the music. Who else wants to dance? We must go to the music.
I think I turned to Ren and I'm like, okay, they seem to be fine. Tonya, how are you feeling?
Not important right now, I don't think. How fast does everything seem to move here? Like the other things? Like, can I gauge how fast these things are?
So I'm going to make a very esoteric reference here. For anyone who's ever seen the movie Jacob's Ladder, so if anyone's ever watched horror movies as well, where there's the famous like heads are kind of like twitching but like moving very fast, like it's both going fast and then slow at the same time, and the images of the face are becoming not distorted, but like it just looks like there's a constant blur. That kind of stop-start motion is what is happening with the shadow. It's like it's one spot and then it's moving. It's not like teleporting because it's not fast enough to be doing that, but it's unsettling because it constantly feels like it's encroaching and then it moves away. And then but every time it does that, it keeps moving back to the sad figure, the sad fish humanoid.
I think that's more important than however I'm feeling right now. Okay.
But why don't we just dance towards the music and towards the pointing at the floaty portrait? Let us link hands.
Yes, I don't think we should separate any more than we have. But maybe we should do more of a and they're trying to remember like dance terms and everything. like um
Do a grapevine.
maybe we should cha 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 quickly.
I love this group so much.
It is not my proficiency, but you know, sometimes those weddings and parties call for things that, you know, make for interesting photos and stories later. So, yes, let us cha cha.
Move.
Real smooth right now.
Come.
So, I have to ask, for the three of you, for all three of you, this will be a check. How do you react in this moment? Not just like the offer of dance, but feeling this soul who looks very sad, looking at all of you and just sort of watching, and the presence around you, and this space of water that seems very fluid and reactive to all of you. This will be a check. What are each of you using for this check? What are you trying to do in order to navigate this space? I'm open to arguments for really anything.
I am looking at everything to reacquaint myself with myself.
It's okay. Gotta really look at my character sheet here.
Well, Ida the player recognizes that these are things that are dangerous, but I don't know if my character was in that state of mind.
Characters like there's a hot boy over there. There's
It's
a creepy shadow that's still dangerously enticing. No?
Well, it's more that this is Ren's first time in this sort of space, and the worlds that the party has collectively been in were not real, were representative.
Gotcha.
So that's clearly a representation of something spooky, and just like the mechanical fanciful beast we flew on and the swirling storms, it's just representative of something, and we're going to move past it. So I have a thing.
Sorry.
Since this is dance related, Ren volunteers to be at the front of the cha-cha-cha line. And I can give myself a +1 die in checks for involving leadership. As can I be leading this dance?
Yeah, Antonia's gonna let you go first, just so you know. She's not disputing that.
Yeah, Jimena doesn't mind because in the back she's rear guarding. No, yeah, Antonia, you're going in the middle.
Yeah, no, that's where she wants. That's where she wants to be.
Yeah, and I think I'm using perception because, like, yeah, I'm in my element of water and everything feels familiar. I'm like, okay, I can handle this. Yeah, there's some dude over there. Yeah, there's something that's chasing us. Someone's always chasing me, you know? Like, so I'm percepting like
problems.
What's the real threat here? Is it the guy? Is it them? Is it the cha-cha-cha?
People are always after me.
Whether for one thing or another, they're always after me.
Okay. So I'm going to tell you all right now, the challenge is 3.
Okay.
Challenge is 3 for whatever you're rolling.
Then I will roll. I'm dancing.
I don't know if I need a whole lot of argument for this, but I do want to roll maneuver.
Yes, that's perfectly fine from Antonia's perspective.
It doesn't require a lot of...
I don't think it requires a lot.
Okay, wait, how many is that? 4 plus 1. 1, 2, 3, 4 plus... We're gonna roll this one. It's gonna fail me. Watch. Oh, that's bad. Okay, what is a success again?
4 and above.
4 and above.
Okay.
Is
a success, folks.
I rolled a lot of 3s.
Oof.
Same. I only got 2 successes.
I
also have 2.
Dance my way, and I'm adding 1 extra die. Okay.
You're spending the points, I assume. So.
Oh,
Oh no, wait, no, it's your talent, I imagine. Either way, what did you roll?
2 successes.
What?
Only 2 6s?
2 successes.
bad.
your uwu voice was so cute that it didn't pick up on the mic as clearly, but 2 successes, so nobody passed.
Nope.
Okay. So
Guess
you are
it's-
beginning to dance, and then Ren. To my players, I care about you all. Please let me know if this is too much at any given point. Ren, you look and you see your partner's face that you haven't seen in a long time. It's almost like the shadow has creeped up next to you. And you hear them say, because I don't think you ever gave me gender for them, so I would just say they.
Mm-hmm.
And I would just say, where were you? Why weren't you here to help us more?
We were committing to the saints. Are you saying I shouldn't go do my religious duty and honor what we have given back? I invited you. I had a chair and everything. Your name was printed on the invitations.
You hear what sounds like the cries of a child somewhere nearby. And them?
Rodrigo bought their kids too. They could have been playing in a corner.
Tell me something. Did you want to do this for the saints? Or because you didn't want to be around us? And you didn't want to deal with us?
God is supposed to be the most important thing in our life.
Does God not ask you to care for your family? To remember those who have shared space and time with you?
Then as my family, you should be joining me.
It's always about you, isn't it, Ren? It's
Don't
always
be
about
like
what
that.
you want.
Come, let's dance.
Tell me if this is too much, Ida, please.
I'm
I think your partner asked you, what did we dance to at our wedding? And I don't think you remember.
Ren doesn't know. Okay, so Ren just
Ren
kind of like...
doesn't know.
It was the... I had it commissioned. They played it on the radio for us. It'll come back to me. Just come, let's dance.
I always have to wait for you, don't I?
Don't be like that.
Like what? Like what your actions have made me be now? Ren, I would like to ask you, for how much will do you have stat-wise?
4.
You lose a point of will immediately as you feel whatever... There's probably in the back of your head this sense of like, if you had passed the check, so you know above table, that you would be able to clearly say, this can't be who this, this can't be them, but you failed. And the frivolity with which you've approached your life and trying to remember it, whatever this is you're hearing a thought follow all of that. And it's like, isn't it better that you don't remember? Don't you just want to fade away from all of this? I mean, did you ever really care to start with? You know it's bullshit. You know it's bullshit. But there's a part of you, imagine something getting like its hooks into you. It's sticking. And it's not leaving your head. Jimena. As you're watching Ren, like Ren stops dancing, and before you can react, you see your partner from the sea right next to you as well. Their hair is drenched. Their skin is entirely soaked. Their clothes look waterlogged. And there's, amidst all of this wetness from the water around them, you also see, though, that there are tears going down their face.
Not caring, immediately just hug. Like, querida, mia.
Like pushes you away immediately.
You're here.
You said you weren't going to leave me. You said we'd be fine. You said taking it would be okay.
It was supposed to be, and I didn't leave. I stayed with you until the end.
The end of what? Our journey or my life? My life given for you, for your fun, for your treasure, for your adventure.
It wasn't just, it was our fun, our adventure, but it was also our responsibility. We discovered this. We
Didn't want to go. I didn't want to go to that place to start with. I didn't think it was a good idea with all we'd heard about it.
we were so close. It was our chance to do something for this wretched world, for our future.
Tell me the truth, Jimena. Were you happy to see me go so that you wouldn't have to hear me nagging or talking to you anymore?
No, I wouldn't. I would never want you to go. I would never. I loved your nagging. I loved everything. Love. I still love you.
As with Ida, Diana, tell me if this is too much. What's my name then? What's my fucking name?
It's mi querida.
Right.
Mi tesoro.
No, she like cuts you off immediately. Like, and it's, you hear the voice just like it gains like resonance. Like, what is my name? No cheekiness, no nicknames, no pet names, no cutesy bullshit that you always do when you don't want to engage with something directly. So you hide behind your flirtiness and everything. What is my name?
I know it. I've been forgetting things. I just give me a moment. You're my everything.
I gave you all the moments I had left. Anna, how much will do you have, stat-wise? You feel a point of will fade away from you as the most wonderful person who, in your stronger moments, your more tenacious moments, reveled in every bit of you, every bit of your flirtation, every bit of your adventure and daring, is just staring at you right now and looking at you like you were the worst person in the world. Antonia.
Next.
Yeah. Next. I want to ask you, Gina, the player, what is the worst thing that Antonia could see that would leave her not wanting to continue on?
Being back at the beginning. The thing that she's always trying to get out of that lighthouse, so we'd just go back to it. But she's the thing that we were just doing in the break, actually.
Joy. Yeah. Antonia, all the people you've met, all these people, they're gone. There's no water. There's no fantastic place. There's no hotel or afterlife. You just hear you hear two things. You hear just the passing of waves, just marking every single day, every single dull, aimless routine and isolation, where every time you wake up, you hear the same pattern: high tide to low tide, low tide. Tide comes in, tide comes out. Nothing changes. No one is coming, and you will be alone. You also hear what sounds like the tinkling kind of sound of, seems like a pane of glass, as you just hear the sound of a lantern just being swung up and down, back and forth. Someone is just moving up and around the lighthouse you're stuck in. You call out. There is no reply. You stretch your hand out. There is no response. You open your mouth to scream, and there is no sound. What does Antonia do?
Well, since she's been here before and it's never changed, she's not going to do anything.
Antonia, what is your will right now? You all, the three of you, turn and look around, and you see, as that shadow moving around, changing form for every single one of you, it moves back to this sad fish humanoid. And you watch, almost like it holds its hand out, this lupine-faced creature and shadowy being. It holds like an orb depicting images of what look like a set of ruins being torn down, of a lighthouse being built, of people in Submaro Bay forgetting the water titan. And you see this individual weeps and just falls to the floor. And as they do, Ophir and Quest, there is a massive wave that slams against the harbor once more. I need another challenge from both of you. This time, how are you reacting as the earth seems to be splitting right between you, trying to separate the two of you out? How do you react? This is something I need both of you to do the check on.
Where are there more people? Are there more of us on one side than the other?
Nope. Even split between the group. Well, with your if you're talking about your party members, three of you are on one side, two of you are on the other side.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So probably you and one other person on one side, Quest, and Ophir and two other people on the other side.
I think it was the other way around because...
Oh, wait, because Ophir's...
Quest
squishy.
was protecting the other two, and
Ophir so Ophir is with, I think, Jimena, and then Quest is with the other two. So
okay. On my side, do I see anything that looks like it is not in danger of falling into the sinkhole? Anything that looks like it is either bolted into the ground or sturdy enough to hold some kind of weight?
See a familiar turtle-faced individual who had been playing for you earlier, just what felt like a few hours earlier. We were having a fun time. Everyone was dancing. It was all good.
Okay.
Turtle Dude is currently has about 6 kids on top of his shell that he's trying to ride to safety. And he's seeing them trying, starting to lose their balance, and he's just like hunkering down into his shell to try and make it more sturdy. So he's probably the sturdiest thing you could hold on to right now.
Okay. Quest just elbow deep into her backpack and is going to pull out 50 feet of light paracord.
Nice.
I would like to run and tie it around Turtle Friend. If there's anything like debris, rubble, anything heavy enough to weight the other end, I want to throw it across to Ophir and Jimena.
Okay. So your challenge will be for that, Ophir. Your challenge is just not to fall in right now.
Sounds good. Holding on to Jimena for dear life and this rope.
Okay. Ophir, what would you like to use for your check? Remember, I am open-minded as to how, again, you can manipulate the space. You in particular, Ophir, and Quest has already taken the much more direct charging ahead approach.
Mm-hmm.
Do not forget that you have those various means to also change your checks as well. So, for example, you can use tricks or curiosa to try and lower your challenge. You can modify it by using your approach to give yourself a +1 die, or a talent to give yourself +1 die. Or you can try and use your curiosity to get a stronger effect. Or if you fail, you could choose to suffer a memory instead. Don't forget you have those options. And also for folks who, everyone who failed, mark that you got 1 XP as well on your sheet. Because I will be getting back to keeping track of that.
I think for Ophir, he's going to use body withstand. And then probably just instinctively going to use Mirage Craft, just as always, have flowers starting to bloom to try and like support and lift them, make sure that they don't fall, filling in any gaps in between, just trying to catch them pretty much.
Okay. Quest, I would like you to also roll with whatever you decide you're going to try and use for your way of handling this check. I will tell you the difficulty afterwards.
I am going to use Mind Apply, the use of schooling and what you've learned, because one of the things you learn climbing mountains is how to arrest your fall and stop other people from falling.
I like that. That is a very good use of that. So Mind Apply for Quest, Ophir, Body Withstand.
Also, the 50 feet of rope was one of my curiosa. Is that a +1 die, or is that just an extra benefit if I succeed?
1 second while I pull up how your checks can be modified. So that was curiosa, you said?
Mm-hmm.
I would say the curiosa would bring the challenge of the check down for you.
Okay.
So it goes from a 3 to a 2.
Okay.
So you only need 2 successes to make it past this check. Ophir, what did you roll?
I got a 3. I got 3 successes.
Good, because you had a difficulty of 3 exactly. So you did it, bud. You're okay.
No,
6 and a 4.
barely.
6 and a 4. Okay, you both managed to stabilize the group. You are fine. Your turtle friend is currently like, you hear a very like frightened voice in the shell, like, don't worry, kids, we're gonna be okay. It's gonna be fine. This sucks. Should have traveled to the Air City instead. Water cities suck.
Air City's not good either. Not good right now.
So why is it not good?
Listen, a lot of things are, you don't want to think about the Air City right now. Just trust me when I say that it's so much worse than this. This is the good place to be.
This is the good place?
Yeah.
Yeah, it ends on that. Time is sort of freezing on that note as we go back to the other group. And
like,
go.
Definitely thinking of different air cities. 100%.
I like the idea that you're like, no. Last Air City we went to, it sucked. And it's like, a place I know, there's dudes who have like light up swords that they go whom.
I think it's a quite nice vacation spot. Not anymore.
I guess not. To the group, you're seeing, you three are the only ones able to tell of the group that it's almost like there is an intense flashback of going back and forth between scenes of seeing yourselves in this realm of water and memory, of then going back to the harbor, of seeing the water titan creature, your group for the first time, because y'all y'all passed out before you got to see it, and then it flashing back to the weeping man who's there. Yes, Ophir.
Just want to say real quick before we switch over that as Ophir is clinging onto Jimena, he is very desperately whispering, like, come on, Captain, come on, Jimena, you can do this, you can do this. That's it. Please carry on.
Fawning, understood. Fawning, understood. Got it. The rest of your group, you are hearing the music come back stronger this time. And it's dispelling the sense of stagnation you're feeling. You may try again, all three of you, but there's a sound. You hear words coming from the creature that's appearing next to this sad individual, and you hear it saying something to the effect of, like, don't you just want to fade away? Have you not learned that death will come for you soon enough, my friend? Why not just be forgotten already? Why not give in? What more could you want to remember if all it will bring you is pain? Embrace me, friend. Embrace death. And you see it, like, holding out its arms towards the man, like offering what looks to be a comforting, like, embrace. Definitely not. To the three of you, you can tell, but the weeping man seemingly does not understand.
Death may come indeed. Death may come sooner than we'd like, may come unannounced, may come with an invitation in hand. But right now, I need to dance. We need to dance.
Does it seem like the one that's speaking believes that we can't succeed?
I mean, it's looking pretty confident right now.
Okay.
But you are also, I would say, especially because Jimena, you were the one who was looking around to try and perceive things, correct?
Correct.
You failed to check,
yes.
but you were trying to look around. You do see, after this point, you do see Jean-Paul past in the painting, looking back into the gallery, or looking at you from the gallery, seemingly playing. It's hard to tell from here, but looks pretty, actually does not look really well put together right now. Very stark contrast to how things have been normally.
I think Jimena, like, is turning that heartbreak of their partner, saying those things, and then the fact that they couldn't remember something as simple as a name, and they're like, no, I didn't do all of this to lose everything, and I'm gonna do what Jimena does best, and that's bully through. Just like, screw this dancing, screw, placating, just charge. And I want to use ferocity for that.
My
Okay.
girl.
And Antonia, how are you reacting? Are you reacting and doing anything at all? It's a genuine question.
Okay, she is very tired of this now. Not like tired giving up. It's like this is like, how many times has she gone through this? But she knows she's not dodging anything now physically. Like, that's not but I think she's gonna take her little, I mean, it's a sword, but like her little Marlin spike, I can't remember what it's called when it's made of wood. she's gonna do it. She's gonna like hold it up. She's like, "You go, get out of my way." Um, I don't. Yeah, I don't know what death marks I can use.
I said before, you have availability to half of the total death marks, because normally in a longer campaign, they would be each of them being unlocked like one at a time. For the sake of our shorter series, I'm letting you all have half, and then you're getting them as you experience the fragments, you get new access to them. That's sort of the general like gameplay loop. You go, you experience a fragment, death mark becomes available. The idea is that you're filling out your body with the literal map to the afterlife, which is both really cool and also mildly unsettling. Death awaits you, but in a good way.
This one's actually kind of apt. Could I use my stars one, which is from where I hated where I was, and the trick is I'm an escape artist, to try and move past the shadow thing, like trying to like dodge around it. That's what I want to do. I have my little sword up, my little spike up, and I'm gonna try and like fancy footwork my way out of this, because I'm an escaper. I've escaped worse things, I think. I'm not sure, actually. She's not sure at this point. It's just like, I was there and I'm not there. I escaped it. I maybe died. Maybe I had to die to do it, but we're getting out of this.
The short answer is yes. The long answer is insert Thor Ragnarok fuck off ghost comment right here. But
got out of worse things.
I want everyone to roll, and Ren, you dance again. You continue doing what you have always been good at. Though if you had wanted to use a different thing, please feel free to correct me.
If that would make it potentially easier, I have a trick. I can disappear. And guilty as charged, Ren absolutely has been using dancing to disappear from responsibilities.
Yeah, I would say that works. So here's what I'm going to do. Jimena, you have an additional die roll for free.
Yeah.
Because of Ophir.
Yeah.
You hear Ophir's words very faintly, and you feel invigorated. You have an additional die for this. Antonia, your particular death mark is such that is also going to be a benefit for you. That was a talent. So yeah, you also have a +1 to that, and yeah, Ren, you also have a +1 to that.
Okay.
And just to confirm mechanics wise, since I'm using ferocity, that's like taking a point of ferocity away to add 1 die.
Yes.
Right. Okay,
yes, it's from the pool, not your core stat. Pools are what you would use in order. Well, you all don't technically have pools anymore because you all passed out. Your extras are gone. Nevertheless, you are still getting the additional 1 because of Ophir's support.
Okay.
So you still have the +1. Regardless, it is just coming from Ophir instead of your pools, because all of your pools are gone because you all took the fragments. That's sort of the trade-off. Okay. What did y'all get in terms of successes?
I haven't rolled yet. Could I make a withstand roll instead of a maneuver roll to just try and like, similar to mine, just like bully through it? On top of that?
Yes, because if I recall correctly, you are actually the tankiest person in the group, which is the funniest thing.
Yeah, she's not dodging this one right now. She's just going to try and similar around and just like.
I got 3 successes.
Pull through it.
3.
1, 2,
okay.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, I gotta roll those.
Ren.
3 successes. 4 successes. Enough.
Excellent.
That's 5 for me.
Escape responsibilities.
Yeah, she's not gonna dodge it. It's just dodge, withstand through it, and then escape out of it. That's the plan.
Okay.
Metaphysically.
Metaphysically, I will tank this. I'm the metaphysical tank of this group, that's also one of the best phrases I've ever gotten to say in an actual play ever. So here's what happens. Ren, you disappear, and you've left so much behind, but you're probably realizing more and more what was good about that for your own well-being, and also what was not so great about that. however much you do want to internalize that, that's up to you, the player. But you move, and it's almost like the churning of waves that have been happening in Sidmaro Bay, they abate somewhat, and it's oddly more rhythmic in terms of the pattern that's being laid out in the water between the realms.
Okay, I have to get to that music. Maybe that was the song. Maybe that was the song I danced with my partner. Maybe that was the one. I have to go find out. And I have to go sing it to them again.
That is so gay, and I love it. We love this for you. Jimena, you're able to get through this. You haven't forgotten. That name isn't gone entirely. Grief strikes in very unpleasant ways, but does not strip you of the means to still remember. Even if you forget for a moment, it doesn't mean that moment is eternity. Antonia, you are done with this shit so much.
So tired.
But there is an understanding that as you move forward, you are able to walk past the figure. And I would say, Antonia, because you were choosing to just fully tank this, you actually walk through the creature and dispel the discontent it is causing. Yeah.
I was gonna say, can I take a little stabby stab while I do that?
Yes, I'm gonna say, especially because you pulled the knife out. Like, you do this, and you watch a series of images just appear in your mind of almost like getting a glimpse of, I'm going to say, this is full cosmic horror levels of knowledge. You get a glimpse of understanding of what this thing is. In one moment, you see a skeletal figure hidden by a hood with a scythe being held in one hand. In another, you see an almost demonic-like figure, but it has like steel-studded ball bearings around a long, like wooden, almost, it's not quite like a baton, but it's a particularly like Japanese sort of implement that is very heavy on the pulverizing elements. On another moment, you see what appears to be a deific figure that looks humanoid, except it has, and this is the only time I will get graphic with this, it has a second layer of skin.
Oh, fun.
That it begins removing. That's all the detail I'm going to go into for that one. And then another moment, you see like an almost angelic figure, but it looks like an older woman. Very nice vintage style done up hair, just bending over somebody, giving them like a soft kiss, and then leaving with them. And then you see again the lupine figure just look at you, and you just hear a growl where it's just, nobody escapes me forever. I will have all of you soon enough. It tries to reach out with a claw towards you, Antonia.
I will take my little spike and stab at its hand or wrist or whatever I get.
You do that, and you hear the song reaches a climax as for Ophir and Quest, you've been like hunkered down next to your turtle friend, just trying to stay afloat, and we're at those moments in like kaiju films where it's just like hapless person number 375 is just holding on to a loved one and looking up and seeing both creatures about to just start to get into a fight, and things, just whole sections of the earth are being pulled up and flung and about to drop on top of you when all five of you just land back in the gallery. Just all on top of one another. 3 of you are drenched to all hell. 2 of you have seen some shit and been crashed by some shit.
The music.
And
On
also,
sobbing.
Where's the
by
music
way.
coming from?
Why are you wet? What? Why are you? You're all soaked.
La música, where's it coming from?
you look over Ren, because you're the one most trying to figure out where it is. You see Jean-Paul's on the floor, like face down. Like looks like he had been playing an instrument of some kind, but it is by the side. He looks like he just passed out.
Shuffle, shuffle, shuffle.
I look down to
shake.
Ophir as that's happening. I'm like, you okay, buddy?
Glad you're okay.
Yeah. And I pat their
Too much water.
You do know how to swim, right? Okay.
Yeah. Ren and Quest. Yeah, I'd say probably the 2 of you noticed first of everyone else. Like, Jean-Paul's just face down. Looks like he passed out.
Heading over with Ren.
You're all safe. Like, instantly tries to compose himself. His suit looks like it's crumpled and like there is a little trail coming from like the exit to the gallery. It's very faint, but it looks like there are blood drops. And if you look near like his shoes, like there is a very thin line of blood that's come out, like near the pant hem.
What happened to you? Do you remember?
Yes, regrettably, I do. I'm very glad I was still able to get you all out. Oh, that one is always a bit of a doozy.
Were you attacked?
In a manner of speaking.
By a figure with a lobo, a lupine face, and a scythe? Or one of your guests? Or an intruder?
Not quite any of those, but I do know what you are referring to. Are you all okay?
I'd give you my jacket, friends, but Ren will pull up their arms and just like see the water like dripping like a sponge.
Antonia, you look like you say something. You have the look of like.
No, she's not.
I was about to say, I'm loving the Antonia pissed. I'm about to cut a bitch look right now. It's so good.
It is
so
big.
She's just rigging her shawl out onto the floor directly.
Quest just kind of barks in laughter and just sort of rolls over onto her back with what I imagine is her busted arm now, just kind of tucked against her chest. Just lays there laughing. Does not respond to Jean-Pierre in response to, "Are you okay?"
That's about the response I expected. Normally, I'm able to get folks out a bit more quickly. There is a situation that has occurred here that required my attention regarding our basement.
Oh.
Yeah.
I will...
Still helping, but also, are you okay?
I'm hurt, but I am not beaten, and that is more than enough. I will take the time to inform you about the whole situation when I have had a moment to clean myself up. It is, for now, contained. I will be more explicit on the details.
Maybe we should all go and clean up?
Yes, I believe you will need some time to process whatever you have been able to find. And a rest, I think, is called for all of us. But I will be certain to check in with Judy and such about food and other refreshments.
And yourself, ideally.
Take care of yourself first.
And thank you for being on post to call us back.
I am here for any souls who choose to enter those spaces. Now then, I will need a simple thing, which is I need a very stiff drink.
That sounds fantastic.
Yes. And proceeds, if folks are willing, to take you all back to your rooms to get a much-earned rest with a fresh set of clothing for all of you being provided.
As we're being walked to the rooms, Ren would look at the people who have been in that space to receive those memories. I think it was a Quest of No Fear last time. And we'll ask both of them, like, you have been to that space before.
Mm-hmm.
Was there a figure in that space with you?
Ophir is just clinging on to Jimena, still has not let go. Probably just the arm at this point, and is just like, I don't think so. I think it was just, there was a lot of that noise.
Noise indeed. Not very pleasant, very confusing. Did I mention not pleasant noise, but this figure seemed to be the instigator of that noise.
Well, they were hunting us, that's for sure. And I think I'll lean in, despite the fact that Ophir is holding on to me, I will lean into Antonia, I don't know why I said Antonia, having seen their face and everything, like, and be like, after everybody goes to bed, shall we have a meeting?
Is it to me or to Ophir?
Antonia.
Oh, sure. She's been mostly just ringing this, like, nobody escaped. She's been doing that the entire time.
Yeah, so
Jimena
will nod. Like, okay, good. Because, yeah, I think Jimena believes, like, okay, Antonia, I can trust everybody, but I can trust Antonia. We can go and do some sneaky shit because this is ridiculous.
So
she's literally just like, everybody always says that. Like, can't anybody say anything else to me? It's just, can't escape.
Considering you had to possibly die to escape, all of them are talking shit justifiably.
She can accept that now.
Yeah. So with y'all heading back to your rooms to take a well-earned rest, that is where we are going to take our midway break. Normally, we would be doing this a little bit earlier, or in terms of like playtime, we would be doing this a little bit later, but we had some tech issues and I want to keep us on track to respect people's time for the day. So we'll be back in about 10 minutes. 10 minutes, actually. Remember, everybody, to get water, take your meds if you haven't. And if you haven't taken the chance to subscribe to our Twitch channel or YouTube channel, why not get on that? We would appreciate it. We are so very close to next tier of YouTube related stuff from what I recall. So we would love you to help us out on that front. But anyways, we will see you all in about 10 minutes, everybody. Take care. Hello there, lovelies. Absolutely wonderful to be back with everybody. So, wonderful
That
to be
escalated
back with
quickly, didn't it,
everybody.
folks?
So, welcome back to Afterlife Hotel Nexus, the Afterlife Wandering Souls actual play we're doing here on Girls Run These Worlds. We are in session 5 of our limited series, which I never got around to telling y'all the title. The title was Unexpected Cancellation, which will become very clear real soon. But our group has just escaped from a pair of you having to deal with a pair of kaiju-sized titans, and 3 of you dealing with a manifestation of death? Question mark. And the horrifying consequences of your actions and/or things that you've had to face in your backgrounds that are, slowly coming back in traumatic memories and difficult grieving fashions, like they do. But you all have successfully managed to escape another limbo, make it back to find Jean-Paul being in a not great state himself, and promising that once you have all taken some time to rest and such, he would sit you all down for some food and inform you of the situation. So, trying to remember who ended up bunking with who again. I think some folks had their own rooms and some folks were with
Ophir and Jimena, I believe. Ophir was just a fussy bitch who did not always sleep in the room.
Despite Jimena always bringing Ophir drinks and such.
He was warming up.
Okay. So you two have a room. Everyone else have their own rooms, or was Ren with someone else? I could have sworn Ren was with somebody else.
I believe Ren and Quest had their own respective rooms, but Ren was a frequent visitor to Quest because Quest was receptive to. Blah, 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 blah.
Company is nice.
So, important question I have to ask: do you all actually go to sleep and rest?
Jean-Pierre's not my dad. You can't tell me when to go to bed.
I do take a nice, long, relaxing shower and everything, like nice hot shower and everything, and just languidly like figure out what I'm going to wear for this sneaking into the basement thing. Still have to look presentable and such. Would not obviously care if Ophir saw me like half naked and everything, because like, whatever. And then we'll wait and to see if Ophir like also showers and gets ready and or goes to bed before heading out to go meet with Antonia.
I think probably as you were showering, Ophir, dear sweet Ophir, is probably just laying on the floor because he doesn't want to get the bed sturdy, and is just kind of staring at the ceiling, has his paper and art supplies near him like he wants to do something, but is just like and definitely gets maybe a little flustered if you come out like with your tits out, but other than that, once he averts his gaze, he will want to freshen up and probably stand at the door of the bathroom for like 10 minutes without actually going in, and then probably oh, thanks. That was so helpful. Right in the middle. But on the lower side. So I think after that 10 minutes of staring and like starting to go in and then changing his mind, he's just going to go change his clothes and lay on the bed.
As you're in the bathroom changing Ophir, you swear for a moment you hear water filling up the tub that is there.
Probably runs out of the bathroom like half naked, like paler than usual. This boy's already pale as fuck. Despite living on the streets for most of his life, he still somehow is just so pale. And he just runs out with like pants barely on and like clothes under his arm, dropping them, and he just looks sweating, pale, and freaked the fuck out.
Spider or rat? I can take care of either, but I need to know what size shoe to use.
It's neither. It's neither. Sorry.
It's
I'm
okay
just
if it is something in there that scared you, that's an animal like. I'll take care of it. I definitely don't want to go in there in the middle of the night and have to deal with that falling on my head or something. Had that happen before, sleeping in rats.
Me too. I would honestly prefer that. No, it's heard. And he's going to just get dressed outside of the bathroom, not even caring.
Yeah. If you at all look back or listen, Ophir, there's no more water. Nothing.
Totally cool. Just gonna lay on the bed furthest away from the bathroom and staring at the wall. He's good.
Quest, do you crash? Do you get changed for other stuff? What is your thing?
Quest does go back to her room, and she goes through the motions of a volcanically hot shower, to kind of lull herself into a false sense of security so that she can pull her arm back into place because she's not getting anything done with that in the condition that it's in. So anybody who is in the hall probably hears a really like loud, kind of choked off noise that ends very abruptly. And kind of that irritation you have when you've like stubbed your toe or like bumped into something really hard that you could have easily avoided. It's just that kind of like, I'm uncomfortable and cranky about it. And sort of stomps back to her bag and just starts to empty it and puts the items that are inside it kind of in like a little circle around her because she hasn't actually looked at the contents yet. But she knows she knew that rope was in there, so she wants to see what else there is.
Yeah. I will say as a small note for you to have, DK, in regards to Quest experience of the shower, just for a brief second in the middle of that shower, you had the experience of it suddenly becoming like frost cold, like you were stuck in the middle of a blizzard. That felt very familiar, and you felt like your whole body was about to freeze over. It was just like a split second of all of those sensations happening, and then the moment you even try and reflect on it, the water's been as scalding hot as it's been before.
I think unconsciously in that flash of an instant, Quest isn't scared. She kind of smiles in spite of herself at just the kind of bracing feeling of it. And it's just, she doesn't feel the expression cross her face.
You have all been blessed with cat vantage, because of Mirage's cat, because we love a lonk boy. But here's the question I asked to the group. Do you wish to pursue a chat with Jean-Paul now, or do you want to do it post-rest? Post-rest, just as a note, all your pulls and everything would go back up. It's your call.
I think Ophir wants to rest as much as he doesn't want to be near the tub. This was a lot. He's just a guy. He's just from New York. I don't know what to tell you. He doesn't do any of this shit. So he's gonna pass out.
Man, I thought New York boys were much tougher than this.
Yeah. Heavens no.
I think I'm fine with avoiding the talk to Jean-Paul for as long as possible. But I think like for Jimena, the goal is to talk to Antonia before talking to Jean-Paul and resting.
Yeah, it would buy you time.
Okay. So if you'd like, you can have that conversation now, unless Ren has a desire to also chat with the two of you as well. Or is Ren going full like, I'm out, motherfuckers, I'm gonna sleep?
I think Ren heads to their room, cleans up, feels refreshed in crisp, pressed, nice looking clothes, looks presentable, looks respectable, looks approachable. and kind of just lies out on the bed and, like, while lying flat staring at the ceiling, tries to move their body. Like, what song was it? What dance was it? Was it like this? No, it was this. Was it what? Just lying flat on the bed staring, like half mumbling, like, what was it? If I remember the feeling, the emotion will come back to me.
Ren, roll me a d6.
Okay. Just me handing a knife to the GM to stab me with. Because I do like that. It's a 2.
You're trying your hardest, but it's not coming to you. You're closer to remembering it, but it's... You can't remember. You know it's important. You know it's very much the frustrating, like, tip of the tongue kind of effect.
No, it's because I'm trying to remember I'm remembering the technical. I have to remember the emotion. Remember the emotion. I think Raina's just going to kind of maybe uncharacteristically pout a little bit in the room.
The sassy part of me wants to go, this is uncharacteristic, but it's me.
Pout? I think, you know what? I'll take it.
I'm teasing. You goober. Antonia and Jimena.
So yeah, before I leave, not sure if Ophir's completely asleep or not. Just kind of mumble, "I'll get you a drink," like that's why I'm leaving, kind of thing. And yeah, we'll approach Antonia's door and knock very, like, for whatever reason, I'm just like, housekeeping.
Antonia is expecting an entirely different person.
She knows you're coming. Just open the door. She's also changed. She's been doing the whole, yeah, she went to the bath. She's also been doing the whole, still doing the, like, Eds, don't tell me what to do. Sort of like, don't tell me what I can and can't do. Okay. Open door. She does not know what we want to talk about. She's like, yeah, sure, you can totally talk to me about stuff.
Yeah. I think I do the pleasantry of, like, so are you feeling better? Did you have a shower? Obviously you changed.
It's fine.
Except that nothing, as they close the door behind them, is fine. Something, as we know, went wrong. And while Jean Paul claims he'll tell us, after we've rested, I feel like we're not going to be told everything.
I mean, schools aren't to believe anybody tells you everything.
Right. I just hate it when men claim that they want to help you and then they don't. Really.
You're optimistic, restricting that only to men, but I think he means well, genuinely.
I agree. I don't think he has true ill intentions, but I feel like it's just to placate us, to keep playing this game.
You've never really been in a situation where somebody's placating you indefinitely, haven't you?
No, I'm generally the one doing that. But the other person knows and agrees to it.
Are
Do
you
you have any
suggesting?
ideas? Suggesting we do something. I don't quite know what, but I feel like if we just go through the motions of eating and meeting and going through these frames, that something is going to happen that I just hate going down the path I'm supposed to take. And this feels like that's all we've been doing.
Well, I think everything's fine. It's just, I'm very used to people not telling me what's going on. So I don't have any big compunctions about people keeping their secrets or about whatever is going on in the basement. And sometimes I feel like being contrarian for contrarian's sake just gets you in more trouble than it's worth, especially when you start to doubt what it is you're supposed to be doing or what's good for you or other phrases that don't sound very great, but half the time it makes it difficult to tell when somebody's just stringing you along and when somebody's just really, really bad at wording things, you know?
Oh, I've been told that many times. Yes, getting in trouble more often doesn't mean you're progressing, but I've found that people tend to let their guards down when they think a certain way of you, of being a troublemaker. They let things slip that they don't think we'd find. I'm willing to take that risk. I'm not saying you need to or the rest of the team needs to, but someone else should know what's going on with me, with all everyone. If I push, or rather, if I poke that wolf, I know the consequences can be bad, but hopefully it will mean you guys find other information.
You give Jean Paul a hard time just to see what falls out. Is that the plan?
Mm, it's not something like that.
And what about you? You say the rest of us, but what about you?
That's a rather open-ended question. Specifically, what about me?
I don't know. What about you? You're
I
part of the group.
hmm, I still believe it's good to figure out what we were. At least for me. I won't impose that on anybody else. Everybody's allowed to choose what they can forget and remember, but I want to remember. I want to know what regrets it was that caused me to be here instead of be where I'm supposed to be. And I'm willing to do almost anything to figure that out. But, and they raise a finger, not at the cost of everybody else.
That seems fair. But I don't know. Seems to be a bad thing to linger too long on things. Also, a bad thing in life, you know, to linger too long.
I have a feeling I didn't linger too much in my actual life. I was always on the move, always looking for the next adventure. I feel like it didn't bode well for me at the end or for my loved one. So, yes, I do agree. We shouldn't linger, but we shouldn't be running away either when it's not time to run away.
Coming from the opposite end of things, I'd say staying in place too long is just as bad. So,
And are you planning to check out soon?
It's possible. Never had the opportunity before, check out of anything.
Well, if that's what you want, I will help you when I can. I think we should investigate the basement, but not before we hear what John Paul has to say regarding that and whatever happened today. I am glad it was us, though, that had to deal with the hunter than the other two.
Kind of trying to imagine how else it would have gone, but I don't know if I would have liked to deal with whatever else was going on. Seems a lot easier when the only thing you got to do is move forward.
Very true.
Well, you have to check on fear. Managing to leave them back in the room. Separation anxiety.
Yeah.
I'll keep an eye out if you decide to do anything and antagonize Jean-Paul. Don't get the rest of us out in too much trouble,
I'll try not to. I'm pretty sure he's already expecting it anyways. But
Yes, they...
even though we are supposed to be doing whatever we're supposed to be doing individually, and you have your goals and everything, don't forget to enjoy yourself a little. This might be our last chances to have any enjoyment.
Yeah. Take it under consideration.
If you need help you need help in learning how to enjoy yourself, my door is always open.
I think it's a little too much for me, but it is what it is. Should let other people take care of you for once. On that note,
the one I want to take care of me is not here.
There are other people for a broad matter of take care of.
I think with that, they just give like a smile and nod and like bid you good night.
Good night.
So, first off, Mirage and I are the worst people to be sitting in the background making faces the entire conversation.
I think we're the best.
Okay, also true. They can be true at the same time. But more importantly, as all of you sleep, because I think it's fair to assume you all eventually sleep.
On later. For no reason. No.
Before she goes to bed, Quest will just make 2 cups of tea. 3. I think she assumes that Jimena is already gone. Wherever it is that sparkle in Jimena's eye was dragging them toward. But I do think that she just does kind of the quick hotel knock outside of Ren's door and Antonia's door and the door to Ophir and Jimena's room in succession and just sort of leaves the mug and scurries away.
Ears too on edge, probably jumps at the knock and just pulls the covers over.
I think if Jimena is already asleep, she's gonna do the thing of like, oh, here, get that door. like tiredly, and then falls back asleep.
I have a question for the GM. That roll you had me make happened after Cat Vantage.
Oh, that's true. You may roll D6 again. I appreciate that this is the kind of thing that you would ask to use Cat Vantage on.
Important.
2. Okay.
Once again, You come very close to remembering.
I think that also makes Ren a bit now properly sad, because Ren knows in this moment their dance is beautiful, technically precise, can stir emotions in others. And it's muscle memory to Ren. And there's joy in being able to deliver that technical, emotion-inducing dance. But it's not emotion that's driving Ren's dance, Ren realizes. It's just this memory we can't pin on. So Ren takes that cup of tea and just kind of like muses over, like, my dance is incomplete because I'm incomplete.
Buddy.
Can't just throw lines out there. I was also about to go for a drink of water. I was like, I'm very glad I didn't. I would have spit my water out. Jesus Christ. So, Quest, as you're going back to your room, you see sort of just waiting outside of your room someone very familiar to you. Did we, out of curiosity, DK, did we establish whether or not Quest knows your former partner's name?
Yeah, yes.
So you
I got it in the first fragment that I had.
Yeah. Cypress. The face still looks somewhat blurry for some reason, but the rest of him looks perfectly right.
Quest doesn't pick up her pace at all and kind of slowly ambles up and sizes up this very familiar figure and says, whether you're dead or not real or something else, it's really good to see you.
It's good to see you too, hon.
Are you dead?
I mean, part of me died when you passed away. But, you know, people move on. I don't
I
think
hope
about
so.
you that much anymore.
That's okay.
You're really okay if I don't think about you anymore?
Yeah. It is not lost on me that the only time I put you first is when it was a choice of your life or mine. Maybe it's better that you don't think of me when you think of yourself. If you are still alive, it's a whole lot of life left, other mountains to climb.
You don't mind if someone were to tell you you giving up what you didn't add up to really anything?
But it did. It did. Came to you somewhere, hopefully, warm and breathing. It's enough.
You know, you're really not going to make this easy to bring you all to the end, are you?
If you would like to show me where it is, I'm more than happy to go. I'm not avoiding it. Just seems like there's other stuff to settle first. You know me. I courted death almost as heavily as I courted you.
Well, we'll see if it's any easier with any of your friends here. Mm, you do notice now that Cypress's shadow has a lupine outline to it.
I think this whole time, Quest has known without knowing this can't possibly be Cypress. She knew with her dying breath that he lived and he was going to make it. So, whatever this is, it's nice to see a familiar face, but the tragedy would be if he was really here. So, I think in response to that, Quest steps in and kisses Not Cypress on the cheek. And before she pulls away, she says, "You can certainly try." And then she just walks into her room.
Very rare that I get to actually make this pun, but you feel as you're passing through the doorway a sensation of a literal cold shoulder. But it doesn't mean anything to you. Not in this moment.
I knew what I was doing when I did it. I knew what the cost would be, and I don't regret it. And whatever this thing is cannot make me.
Fair enough. You see, the being shifts and it's very formless now. It's almost like it's a dark outline of a human as opposed to really anything there. Just sort of very casually like starts walking away, but it's almost like it's sinking into the ground and just leaves.
I think to no one, Quest calls, "If you know we're coming anyway, what's the rush? What's your hurry?" Not expecting an answer, just wanting it to kind of hang in the air.
Sleep comes for all of you. Non-aggressively. I have to make that distinction because most things I've been saying like it comes for you I'm making that note for myself out loud. Nothing else comes for you, and nobody make a joke off of that either. So you awaken, and Jean-Paul is cleaned up, looks as though patched up as well. Suit is once again finally pressed. As a reminder for anyone who has not been tuning in during our first half of this series, Jean-Paul is basically looks like Isaac from the Castlevania anime, which is to say, fine. Man is fine. But he is waiting outside the room, all of your rooms, and he gently knocks on different doors. Says, "If you would like to join me for a conversation."
Lead the way.
Ophir probably struggles to get out of bed, still like didn't just shower to clean off all of the rubble and seawater. Clean clothes, but that's about it. And is just like, I don't want to move. I just want to just sleep forever. And it just like doesn't say any of this, but it's just kind of like unmoving under the blankets with just his nasty mess of hair just spilling out from underneath it.
Jimena throws the blankets off of him and Fireman carries.
And Ren drops off a rinsed off empty tea mug at a Quest's room.
will follow, or some of you being firemen carry this. Somehow I can't tell whether this is something Ophir would like or Mirage would like. It might be both. It might
Yes.
actually.
Yes.
I love this group. I miss this group a lot.
Hmm.
But you see, Jean-Paul takes you to sort of the eating area that you've been in before, the sort of like massive hall, but goes to a side room instead, and it looks like there is a different spread than is usually there. Whereas folks normally like have orders that they put in. It looks as though Jean-Paul has asked Judy to specifically make some more. It is what counts for morning here. So there are various dishes of you see in one pot there is a big batch of what appears to be almost like rice porridge, but closer kind of to like a congee that has bits of chicken, there's lemon, there's ginger, there's calamansi, and there's fish sauce and scallions in it. There are is another on a few other plates. There's a massive pile of what appears to be sliced beef jerky, heaps of garlic rice, and fried egg that goes along with it. And then there is somewhere nearby, there is a rather simple but very tasty looking cake that appears to be consisting of rice flour and water that has additional things like that's had milk, eggs, coconut milk, sugar, and butter added to it. And then sort of like a sweet on the side of it. There's this kind of like sticky glutinous rice flour like mixture substance that has brown sugar. It's been ground into a paste and had rice and coconut milk boiled into it. And it's very pasty, but it looks absolutely delicious. And you set aside a whole nice spread, and uncharacteristically, you are seeing him also eating alongside you as well. He does not normally join in, or he seems to take his meals. No one's ever really seen him taking meals with everyone else. Hello, Kat, again. We love you.
When Jimena finally puts Ophir down, it is a struggle. Like she's a little strong and hardy, but not like some of the others in this group. So it's like, ah, ah, and then fills up her plate with food.
I'm sorry, he's been dead waiting this entire time.
The cat
doesn't want to be picked up.
Sorry.
Wait, the cat has been dead waiting, or Ophir has been dead waiting?
Ophir.
Oh,
both,
okay.
But Ophir, like after attempting to struggle and just being like, I'm just a little bottom who can't do anything, then he just gave up.
Mood.
Yeah.
I'm actually coughing over here. Bless this group.
Sorry. R.I.P.
But Jean-Paul sits and gives you all a moment to tuck in as heartily as you'd like. If there anything else you would like to request, he does note that Judy is specifically working for you all tonight, as there are noticeably less people actually eating here now.
Quest is going to request her usual pancakes and Ovaltine, and then on the side, she would like at least 3 fingers worth of whiskey. Breakfast of champions.
Whiskey and pancakes. And Ovaltine.
Real life me is about this life.
But yeah, no.
Jimena does ask for some grog.
You get like, was it Oktoberfest style like sized ones?
And Steins.
Just Steins. There's just thunk. It's like, okay. Do you require anything else, Ren, Ophir, Antonia?
Ren has loaded up on all the proteins being offered at this spread, all the carbs. Doesn't go out of their way to balance with any other fresh vegetables or cooked otherwise. Mostly loads up on carbs and protein.
He's just eating what is in front of him, sunken into his seat, and slowly, but not leaving anything on his plate left.
I assume
Antonia's not
Antonia is
picky.
good. Yeah, Antonia's not picky. Antonia's like, just fucking give me all this. I want to start by apologizing for the difficulties that you had in returning yesterday. There is normally always danger with going into these places, but the extent of that danger should never have become what it was. And for that, I apologize.
So what guarantees are put in place if we happen to go back into the gallery?
I sense a certain level of distrust based off of your tone. If I may, I cannot assuage all of your any doubts you may have, but I can be more forthright with information if you would like.
Yes, why wouldn't we not like all the information?
Fair enough. You may feel free to ask me anything about your situation here in the hotel, especially regarding why it was so difficult yesterday, and I will answer to the best of my ability.
What was the song you were playing?
I've lost the exact name for it. It's been some years. However, I have the name in a file in my office, so I will go and get it to you afterwards.
Okay.
Yes. That was so cute, Ida. That was easily one of the best little things you've done during this whole series. But yes, Jean-Paul just sort of sits there. He will disclose some information regardless, but I wanted to be sure with the last bit of time we have here, if there are any particular questions you all have towards Jean-Paul, this is a moment you can catch him of being extremely forthright about everything. So if any of you as players that you think your characters would be interested in knowing, feel free to ask.
Jean-Paul.
Mm-hmm.
Out of curiosity, do you often have unexpected guests at the hotel?
Normally, most people who end up here are, as sad as it is to say, they are expected. We do not have cancellations that are not accounted for. And for the most part, we are typically okay as far as adjusting for people being here. However, there have on occasions been cancellations that were not expected. And regrettably, I have a strong suspicion as to why that might be the case.
Does death often stalk the halls of your hotel and visit your guests? Or is that a new thing?
It is not new, but it is not a frequent thing.
Is it at all related to why it's so difficult this time?
It is. You have to understand that in taking on this role, I come from a long line of people who have sought to give people a chance. Redemption is the wrong word. It implies that you are already at fault. But it is the most appropriate word here and most accessible, in part because often the soul can often take on responsibilities that the mind and the body do not immediately acknowledge as being as such. Meaning that, in other words, something about the way in which each of you pass and the way all of our guests have passed leaves them with a sense of regret or sense of longing for something in their lives they had before they came here. And so as a result, I come to this work to do what many have done before me, to give you a chance to remember so that you can let go. whether you consciously are trying to hold on to or not. However, to interfere with the lines of life and death and the points in between requires quite a lot of strength and quite a lot of resources. So, we have made do with our own means of accomplishing this to create the hotel. We have taken a vestige of death's power itself. Death is what lurks beneath this hotel, and it is through death that we have found a way to hold you here. Though I do not mean in the sense of a prison or containment, merely to offer you a chance, should you ultimately decide and find the means to carry on, to move on. We make use of this. All of us here, all of the staff, have willingly given up portions of our own life and of the afterlife that we would have sought in order to grant you the space to move on fully.
What does that cost you?
I will not move on until my time has come. Hopefully that will not be for a very long time. But, and notes, like, looks down sort of to where the blood had been dripping out of, like, his pant hem. Death is not idle. Death always seeks to claim the souls it feels that it is owed.
So is that what happened in the basement? Death got out? Or got in, so to speak?
Yes.
So that's why I was so upset last night.
Death fed quite a lot. And we have lost some of our guests. And we have had cancellations as a result. So there is a sense among the staff that we are not doing enough, despite me reassuring them that this is par for the course. But not everyone is as used to such things as I am. And yes.
Do you mean by cancellations and then there's people who just aren't here anymore?
No. There are people who it is a kind of poetry to describing it that I would not normally afford most things, but many have fallen to what we've come to call the endless sleep, where they fall asleep and they have no sign of ever awakening. Death is gentle and seductive, but it is a lie.
Can death
It is
also be
always
useful?
Receive.
There is an adage that says that at the moment you die, your entire life flashes before your eyes. Could there not be a way to experience this boon in the face of death? Pull back and be able to capture what has been lost so we can pass the right way from this establishment?
Sound like Mr. Moses.
He thinks
here? He is still here.
Sorry, Ophir.
He in fact is being reprimanded for his part in encouraging people to investigate the basement, which is the foundation in which one can try and invite death into this hotel.
Breakfast was very nice, I think I've heard.
Could you say that again? It was a little quiet on my end.
Breakfast was lovely. I think I've heard all I need to. I'm going to go lay down. Kira's going to stand up, a little nod, and start shuffling away.
To answer your question, Ren, there is a possibility if you would like to tempt fate and see if you, more than anyone else, could convene with death, be granted a boon, and not be pulled into the endless sleep yourself.
Would it be easier if they had help?
You are welcome to try this, but I will tell you, no one has succeeded prior to this point.
Just to be clear, to set some distinction between myself and Mr. Moses, I do not have intentions about giving up, forgetting, least of all being forgotten. No, that is not part of my repertoire or my state of mind. But I also believe that great reward does not come without great risk. I respect the line of having to experience that risk without endangering others. And to this end, inviting death into the hotel endangers others, and that is clearly not appropriate. But if this adage has some truth to it, if all can be gained back so that we know where we can go in the end, ideally not directly into death's embrace, perhaps that is worth some consideration.
I would say, I just realized I was muted. I would say in a rare moment of, I would say vulnerability on Jean Paul's part, you do see that there is a few tears that go down his face. You are welcome to try. But speaking not even as the manager for the hotel, but simply as myself, I would ask and hope that you would not repeat the same mistake that Isaac made. Isaac was a dear friend, and pretty certain, for those of you who do remember having partners, you can read between the lines of what he means by friend. He was filled with the same daring. He has not awoken in 50 years.
Quest puts her hands on the tabletop and sort of leans in and says, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. But you didn't answer my question. Is it easier if Ren has help? If Ren is not alone?
Maybe.
Do their chances improve?
Maybe. I have not tested it, and anyone else who has tried, to my knowledge, has never awoken. I would not ask you to take that risk, nor would I suggest it in any way.
Quest just turns slowly and looks at Ren.
The warning is appreciated, and the warning is heard. Consideration is not a leap to action, but consideration nonetheless.
If you decide to go through with it, and you don't want to go alone, because I don't think anyone really wants to go to death alone, my door's open.
We have faced death already. Otherwise, we would not be sitting here.
Yeah, they are very angry. Or at least a little petulant.
Hunters usually are. I want clarification then. You still haven't answered my original question, but we'll table that for the moment. What is the difference between this sleep, death coming to devour us like some of the guests here, and checking out? And your fountain?
Fountain is simply glimpses. It is, in a way, it is known as an oracle font. It gives glimpses of what was, what is, and what could be for different guests who arrive here. It is another means similar to the sensory halls and rooms that exist here to allow you to slowly go about trying to regain memories. Not everyone wants to make use of it. Not everyone wants to remember, and that is their choice. I have never made it an edict. I have simply tried to run this place to give you an opportunity. Checking out is when someone willingly wishes to meet death, where they decide that they no longer want to try and remember and try and move on without the full memory, without ever knowing why they stalled in the first place, because stalling was more painful than simply fading away into nothingness, into oblivion. Being captured here, being hunted and taken, is meeting that fate more forcefully. The endless sleep is the most gentle way death seeks to bring you into their domain. Sometimes people leave of their own accord. I respect that, though I disagree with it. They should not fear, while in this hotel, not being able to choose. And I've done my best to reinforce the basement as best I can with the rest of the staff. But there's only ever so much we can do. This place, as I said before, it is an opportunity, and a unstable one at that, but it is what I have tried to do and follow in the long line of succession of people who have tried to offer this to souls who wish to know peace.
They nod and then drink their grog.
Otherwise, business as usual would pertain stealing ourselves for another visit to the gallery, I believe.
Yes.
Maybe we should take today off. Actually utilize whatever the hotel provides. They have a good pool, for example.
Because we did not get our fill of water-filled activities the other day. But I see your wisdom, Jimena.
I never have enough water. But at least we can wear appropriate wear this time.
Something joke about Jimena likes things wet, something carrying on. Being mindful of time, is there any last thoughts? Because I can't tell if this is Gina just doing hand gestures that is that is the POC manner of expressing oneself, or if you had a thought to add in. Just wanted to double check.
Who comes after you?
I've been looking for a successor.
Just curious.
Truth be told, Isaac was supposed to be the one taking the spot.
My condolences.
I took it over in his memory, out of respect.
What happens to you? I mean, do you have to have a successor before you can go to whatever's next?
It is ideal to have someone in mind. I have contingencies amongst the staff, a possible line of succession. I have talked with them about who would be interested in taking it over. But I've chosen oblivion willingly. I have chosen to forego a peaceful life after this to ensure that this space is maintained with my will and my life.
Honorable. Sincerely.
Now, if you'll excuse me, I will leave you be to tuck in more, and I wish you well. And I hope I have tried to answer as many questions as I can, but my office and sort of gestures and notes a path down one of the hallways. Should you wish to talk more, I'll be available. I wish you all well, travelers. And that is where we are going to close the session for today, as it has been a doozy of a one, and I want to keep us on track for roughly getting out of time despite all the tech hiccups. But thank you, everybody, for being here for what was a hell of a ride to start us back up on this second half of the series. Just want to make sure that folks know the following. So cast will do their outros and everything. We are going... Ooh, there's a lot. I'm still processing all of this. Jesus. Quick announcements that I want to make sure that folks are staying tuned for. Number one, Mondays, Rangers of the North, our sponsored One Ring 5th edition system from Free League Publishing game is happening. I believe they're hitting into their final episode this next Monday, so stay tuned for that. Tomorrow, and also actually later today first, before we even get into tomorrow, later today, we have Roll for Luck, our flagship show of the Sapphics, our wonderful Sapphic crew of misfits, chaotic beings, and just wonderful people who apparently thirst over a queen quite a lot in the last session, and will probably continue to do so because I know how Rhea makes NPCs. They're always
He's
hot.
my boss. The queen's my boss, so it's going to keep happening.
Best situation in the world. But Thursday, we have Community Cleric happening, and this week, I will be the one who's being interviewed. So if you want to tune in to listen to me talk about dice, TTRPGs, and also, I have no dice superstitions whatsoever. I do have thoughts about whether you should fudge dice, which I'm sure will get me canceled on threads and such. That's fine. I don't mind. Don't care. Friday, Ballad of Conjurers is happening. We're reaching our penultimate episode there, and also Misspent Youth. Fight for your rights. Fuck the authority. Tune in for that game. So, tomorrow... run through this real quick. 7 p.m. EST, Community Cleric. Tonight, 8 p.m. EST, Roll for Luck. Friday, 2 p.m. EST, Ballad of Conjurers. 8 p.m. EST, Misspent Youth. And our Monday game, please just tune in for that one. It's so amazing. It's really great. It's been a fantastic story. So, gonna let everyone do real quick outros and everything. So, starting off with how we started. So, tell us one thing you weren't involved with, starting with Gina.
Hi, I'm Gina. I played Antonia. I'm involved in nothing. I'm good. This is it. Yeah. Find me on Twitter for when I'm eventually, in things.
Passing over to the saddest boy to our own fantastic Mirage.
Flavor. Hi, I'm Ultramirage. You can find me literally everywhere at Ultramirage or Ultramirage Art. I'm an artist. Hire me to draw your characters and such. I'm also a professional DM on Start Playing, and I have a couple open seats for some games, including Afterlife, because I was so inspired by this game that I was like, I want to start my own game. And I did. So check it out. I also have a circus game. I'm Ultramirage on Start Playing. That's it for me right now.
Fantastic. To the best Latina goth that could ever possibly exist, Diana.
Well, as I go by Dynaman online, you can find me on Twitter at Dynaman while Twitter's still around. And the next thing I'll be in is our Reclaimers class is now streaming on Sundays from 6 to 8 p.m. PST on Nerdgasm Noir. So twitch.tv/Nerdgasm Noir. They're kindly hosting us now. We've on our second session of the original, the OG Apocalypse World. If you've never played the original, check it out. We do help with mechanics and stuff. So yeah, that's me.
Fantastic. Are the incomparable, the wonderful Decay.
That is still me. Hi, hello. You can find me over at Exquisite Corpse Presents pretty much all the time because it is mine. But you can also find me here again in 4 hours because they keep letting me do this to y'all on Wednesdays.
Wonderful. To our wonderful producer, Aida.
Hi everyone, thanks for having me. You can find me at In The Pan on Twitter, and I mostly am with the other community, Horde of Tales. We just wrapped up a month of all women and femme tables. A lot more shorts and VODs are coming. I swear, I promise I'm a bit behind. Big announcements coming in the future, but I will say tomorrow we're going to continue with our creator talk segment where we invite indie creators, non-North American based creators to chat with us. Our next guest is Ivris, mother of Drama Llamas, friend of Girls Run These Roles, wonderful person with insights and knowledge and cool takes. Come watch us at 2 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. British Summer Time.
Fantastic. And hello there, folks. My name is Angela Lemos Magreja. I use she, her pronouns, and I have been your fantastic GM. I am a professional writer, game designer, and you can find all my stuff pretty much on my beacons now, and also my Instagram page, which I have started to use again, mostly for posting selfies. So if you want to see me just being cute, I don't know why you wouldn't, but pardon, would, whichever one. But you can find me there. And also, as I said before, tomorrow on Community Cleric and on Fridays as we finish up Ballad of Conjurers, where I fucking died last session. And I might be coming back as a kaiju deity just cuz. So I'm living my best Phoenix life and monster appreciator adjacent individual. So, that's where we're at. So I'm going to stop vamping and just say, we are heading over to raid Questline D&D, who's playing the Avatar RPG.
Right now.
Oh, god damn it!
Like right now.
Oh, lordy. Alrighty. Give me one moment while I go find us another person. It's so unfortunate.
I alt-tabbed and I was like, okay, here we go. No!
Don't worry, folks. I am finding another one. So the players can vamp while I...
Can I tell you guys how much you all made me like tear up and almost cry? There was one point where I had to like look away and I was just like, don't cry, I'm good.
I thought you
in
were
the best
just like
way possible.
Really like sad boying, like getting super like meta, like, oh wow, the bangs are really covering. Oh, you look, I want to pet and hug you, look so sad. Oh,
thanks, I try.
I have found an alternative. We're going to be heading over to Gaming Mag, who's currently talk shows and podcasts, who currently is on with Geeky Cassie, day-to-day, Donna Tart, and It's Only Vegas. So that is that. I'm going to go doobly-doo. And there we go. So wave goodbye, everyone, as hopefully this will work. Agree with me, technology.
Work!
One of those days.
All right. Bye-bye. Bye.